So hello and namaste. Welcome to the 5th episode of #Trending Profession. So today we are going to talk about a career in veterinary epidemiology. And to do so, we have our guest, Dr. Tulsi Ram Gompo. He's a veterinary officer based in Central Veterinary Laboratory Department of Livestock Office and Government of Nepal. Regarding his academic background, he did a +2 in Amrit Science College and a Bachelor of Veterinary Science and Animal Husbandry in Tripoli University. A Fullbright scholar, Dr. Gompo did his Master of Science Epidemiology from Colorado State University, and now as a Fleming Antimicrobial Resistance Surveillance Fellow at University of Melbourne, he's learning more about the antimicrobial resistance and epidemiology. So welcome, sir, and thank you for doing this with me.
Thank you, Bima, for bringing me in the show.
Sir, अब कतिजनालाई चाहिँ अब न्यू भेटनेरियन्सहरू भनौँ न एस्पायरिङ भेटनेरी स्टुडेन्ट्सहरूलाई चाहिँ एपिडेमियोलोजी और एपिडेमियोलोजिस्टको बारेमा अलिक खासै जानकारी नहोला और इभन लेम्यानको टर्ममा चाहिँ हु आर एपिडेमियोलोजिस्ट और एपिडेमियोलोजी भनेको के हो भनिदिनुस् न.
So in my view, epidemiologists are known as disease detectives. Like detectives investigate a crime, how it happens, what are the background about on it. Like epidemiologists are also like detectives, but of the disease. They focus on how the disease happens, what are the cause, and what are the background causality of the disease. And so they might be any type of profession, but mostly they are veterinarians, physicians, or they might be any public health expert or even mathematician. I have seen epidemiologists. So I say they are men on boots who go to out the field and try to figure out what's going on about in the population.
So I'm a epidemiologist को बारेमा हजुरले भनिहाल्नु पर्यो. Veterinary epidemiologist अलिकति स्पेसिफिक छ हैन सर यो विषयमा चाहिँ?
Yes, veterinary epidemiologist really deals with veterinary, but it is more than that because nowadays the the concept of like One Health is operating. So veterinary epidemiologists are playing role. They are playing key role to lead health also. They're also leading in animal sector also. So the veterinary epidemiology is a very broad terminology. So it is one of the career for all that every veterinarian can start, I think.
So like what are the activities or work veterinary epidemiologists are doing in Nepal specifically?
In Nepal, I classify the job of veterinary epidemiologists in 3 categories. First, they are in government, they are working for the government. And second is in the private sector. And third is NGO and INGOs. In government, there is not any specific post known as veterinary epidemiologist, but we have to deal a lot of work, a lot of problems with epidemiology. So there is an epidemiology section in the Department of Livestock Services, and that is known as veterinary epidemiology section. There are some veterinarians, that are veterinary officers, senior veterinary officer are there. They are almost trained in epidemiology. They work on that. And in the private, I think only a few of them I have met. Some of they are doing their own independent research, and they have their own research lab, veterinary epidemiologists.
So thank you for that.
So these are the area that veterinary epidemiology.
Okay. So sir, our government areas, private areas, even in non-governmental areas, epidemiologists government areas, active your sector, different divisions, what kind of activities say veterinary epidemiologists in government sector are doing?
Well, in the government sector, though there is no specific post for the veterinary epidemiologist, but all of the veterinarians are playing the role of the veterinary epidemiologist. Mostly if they are in lab, they are in department, they are playing. For example, when they're like disease outbreak, for example, right now we have rampant avian influenza outbreak. Here, the veterinarians are deployed, and they are acting as a veterinary epidemiologists. They are collect some information. They are even there for stamping out operation. So veterinary epidemiologists, our veterinarians have a good crucial role in government for disease control, disease prevention in that sense. So I think in Department of Livestock Service, these veterinarians take the role of veterinary epidemiology.
So in every sector, there is an importance of epidemiology, specifically veterinary epidemiologist. So I think we can move on to the career specific questions of Zain. So very curious to know, how does your normal day looks like being a veterinary epidemiologist?
Yes, when I get up, I don't feel that I am a veterinary epidemiologist. Yeah, I get up as a normal people, a normal person. And my job starts like other person, like other government employee. But when I go to lab, I have a specific task assigned. For example, I will be looking about the lab things. As I've been trained in epidemiology, lens is always with epidemiological lens. I try to figure out. I try to dig inside what is going on, things like that. So I'm in the microbiology lab, but there is also knowledge of epidemiology very important, because we have to deal with microbes, and I'm using my knowledge that how these microbes are here and what are they doing like that. Or basically, I'm working with the bugs and their action in a drug resistance nowadays.
Wow, त्यो सुन्दा पनि एकदम इन्ट्रेस्टिङ पनि लाग्ने छ हैन. अब is there any any particular work or activities in the day that you look forward हुन्छ नि. अब आज चाहिँ मलाई यो त एकदमै गर्न मन लागिरहेको हुन्छ. सधैँ एउटा कुनै हुन्छ नि एउटा स्पेसिफिक टास्क कुनै छ तपाईको डेली डेमा?
Yeah, I like to do a lot of experiment, because our lab is a wet lab, and we do every day. I feel that what we do in a workflow, that is an experiment, because sometimes it's not sure what will be the outcome. So as I'm working in the microbiology, I start doing culture, and I start working on the bacterial identification. Sometimes they end up nothing, or sometimes they end up some strange organism. And so I start following, and it may take some days or weeks. So that is the kind of that distracts away, but it is very interesting to do that.
Yeah, sounds like no matter what is the result, the dedications and the kind of patience should be there as always for being a let's say veterinarian or a veterinary epidemiologist. Sir, I'm very interested to know as well. For example, अब हामी त भर्खरै graduate student पनि भयौं, तर हाम्रो लागि त एकदमै नौलो सिनारियो हुन्छ होला हैन, किनभने we haven't been to that kind of field. But being there in the field, अब कतै breakout भयो वा epidemic को केसेसहरु भयो भने चाहिँ त्यसमा चाहिँ कस्तो खालको प्रिपरेसनहरु क्यारी आउट हुन्छ?
Yes, that will be a very good question. At your stage, I was also thinking like that. It is probably almost 10 or 12 years back, I have graduated. At the time, I was also curious how that will happen. But eventually, when you start to learn by experience, and you will start to know how is that going on. So what I have been involved in directly with the investigation, and even I have been deployed in the control of epidemic. I have certain, I want to share some experience. What are the things need to be? First, we should have a good plan. If you don't have a plan, then otherwise that would be messy, because we have a plan, and plan should be always back up with plan A or B. Plan B. Sometimes we make one work at field, so there's a plan B, and you should take care of what are the requirement, because as you are something like in the like a battle, you should take what are the things with you. So you need to logistics. What are the logistics? Like, to take like what are the protective equipment like PPE, and so you shouldn't even know take about GPS, or like you should take some mobile phones, something like that. That should need for data collection. And third is a communication skill. When you reach the field, if you cannot communicate with the people, that will be really hard. Because I have also some experience with that. Because if you cannot control, like have good communication, sometimes there will be some rumor around, and you have to address on that. So in that sense, good plan, good logistic preparation, and good communication skills can handle the epidemic.
Yeah, indeed. So these three factors are something that you need to be very aware while going to those particular areas. अनि त्यो सोशल साइन्स कम्युनिकेसनको पनि कुरा गर्नुभयो, आई थिङ्क त्यो पछि हामीले फेरि फर्दर डिस्कस गर्ने नै छौँ. तर तपाईँले चाहिँ यो जुन चाहिँ एपिडेमियोलोजिकल हुन्छ नि केसेसहरू वा ब्रेकआउट हुँदाखेरि चाहिँ इज देयर अ सर्टेन टिम द्याट वर्क्स फर दिस अर कि सिंगल ह्यान्डेडली हुन्छ?
Yeah, actually epidemiology needs a team for the outbreak investigation. Yeah. Only single person cannot do nothing. Like either epidemiologists or veterinarians or something can do nothing. So it's always epidemiological investigation should be back up with team. For us, for example, there should be some good communication person as well, so that he can handle what are the if rumor are there, he can address that. There will be some good person who can manage the logistics, like he should be good at like arranging things. There should be some good person who have quantitative skills, or some of the like how to collect and what to collect the data or samples, something like that. So I think a single person can do nothing. A team of experts should be there to address in the field, but epidemiology just can play a lead role in there.
Yeah, so true. So this also explains why One Health approach is very important. That interdisciplinary team ko pani यसले भनिहालेको छ हैन importance. Sir, and I'm very interested to know, because you have been to several cases and outbreaks and हुन्छ नि कति interesting cases haru pani hola. Is there any particular such incidents or events that you would like to share with us?
Yes, within the 10 or 12 years of my journey in the government service, I have personally involved in many epidemic controls and handling many problems. I want to share one of the problem that I faced actually when I was deployed as EDIT, that is called EDIT, Emergency Disease Investigation Team Leader. I was sent to Rasuwa district. Because probably they sent me in Rasuwa because my home is in Wakot, so they think that I am the best guy there. But I have much experience on that, and I went there and I went there first as like detectives. I collect much information, and second time they also sent me as RRT, Rapid Response Team Leader there. So I was the same guy who came a day before as EDIT, and again I was going as the RRT leader. So at that time they feel that because that is the avian influenza outbreak, and I have to stamp out the birds. So they feel that they won't allow to kill their birds because in their community, every family has birds, local chicken. So they don't allow to kill their birds. So initially they resist a lot, and I cannot work. But what I try to communicate is that is the thing is needed. So I communicated with that this disease is very, very serious. If you don't control your chickens, this disease can be transmitted to human as well, and that will risk to you all. So do you compare your health with the chicken? Then probably after all, they agreed on that and able to communicate with this local leader also. So he also convinced, and ultimately I'm able to stamp stamp out and successfully complete the operation. And they thank me lastly. So this is one of the experience that I have.
I think this is also one of the challenging part of being an epidemiologist or being someone working in the field. त्यो फार्मर्सहरूसँग डिल गर्दा वा कम्युनिकेसन गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ अलिक डिफिकल्ट नै हुन्छ इन्फर्मेसन्सहरू निकाल्दाखेरि होइन यस्तो केसेसमा झन् विच इज अल्सो द मेन कम्पोनेन्ट अफ लेट्स से being more prepared and having the plannings like we mentioned before. तपाईँले आफ्नो यो रिसर्चमा पनि एक्चुअली मेन्सन गर्नुभएको थियो होइन H9 को रिसर्च जुन चाहिँ +1 मा आई थिङ्क पब्लिस भएको थियो विच आई ह्याड द अपर्च्युनिटी टु रिड अनि जहाँ चाहिँ तपाईँको त्यो लिमिटेसनहरूमा चाहिँ कम्युनिकेसन स्किल्सले गर्दा स्किल्स भन्दा नि कम्युनिकेसन्सले गर्दाखेरि पनि डिफिकल्टी भएको थियो फार्मर्सहरूसँग भन्नुभएको थियो यस्तो केसेसहरूमा चाहिँ वाट इज द बेस्ट वे टु गेट मोर इन्फर्मेसन अर टु मेक देम रियलाइज द्याट इज भेरी इम्पोर्टेन्ट बोथ human wise and the animal wise?
Yes, it is really a tough job to get the information from others because there is a right to privacy. For example, it is their farms and it is their right to reveal or not to reveal information in them. So when we reach out there to collect information, they might reject on that. They might have some bias on that. For example, if there is avian influenza outbreak, detection of any disease, for example, avian influenza, they don't like to tell somebody that my birds are infected with that because he cannot sell the bird and he would lose the business. It's like that. If there is some other disease, he or she don't like to mention on that. So in that sense, we should try to use our skill that epidemiologists should know how to get the information that will circumvent not like directly so that you can get enough information. So I have such experience also. In that case, I will try to use my own judgment also because I don't believe on them sometimes. I should look around, what are things around, what's going around. That will give clue so that even if they don't mention, we can have some idea on that.
Sure, I think sometimes after self-judgment पनि धेरै नै use गर्नुपर्छ plus the approach of public health is always important. I think so we can now move on to the academic life topic. It's very interesting and very impressive at the same time. I am impressed by the academic background that you have. So when you कति पनि aspiring veterinary students or graduates पनि important होला है. So when you have a graduate degree in MS, Master of Science in Epidemiology from a very renowned university, and you are now doing a different degree in the University of Melbourne. So when did you find out that you want to become an epidemiologist, or how do you know that interest itself is sparked in you?
Yes, sometimes we don't know how the twist happens in life. Yeah, when I joined in government 2010, I think 2010. After 2 years, I have certain expectation that I will do something. Luckily, I got a training known as field epidemiology training for veterinarians. It was 21 days training. I got exposure with the methods they taught, and there were some experts from national and international experts. So then I realized that epidemiology is something that one of the interesting thing that I choose, and I'm in college days, I thought epidemiology is just only for we have only one courses in epidemiology, so there was not much focus was given. But I realized the importance of the epidemiology at that training. So I thought that I started thinking, and there is always epidemiologist should start to think. Like he should able to count, he should able to divide and something like that. So with that training, that inspired me that whether I should choose this career for the career as epidemiology. So I started after that training, I started to look around for scholarships, and I was luckily I made it and to get the Fullbright scholarship. Yes, that is one of the turning point of my career.
I think you mentioned a very important part, जहाँ चाहिँ epidemiology का हामीसँग जम्मा कोर्समा हेर्दाखेरि चाहिँ एउटा मात्रै subject वा course छ है, and I think it's given very less importance in terms of curriculum and the importance of training and involvement. I wanted to ask if there are any other opportunities or activities where students can get involved currently.
Yes, there are even more opportunities than decades ago and now, because everything is internet. There is everything is online, and there is a lot of training either online, in person also. And now world is open because of internet. So you can reach out to every person right now. So you can choose your career. You can like search or opportunities. There are ample of opportunities for the young aspiring veterinarians like you and others who want to choose the career as a epidemiology. And I also encourage this because this is one of the like interesting career personally I feel.
So is there any particular thing जस्तै किनभने एपिडेमियोलोजी पढ्दाखेरि चाहिँ एकदमै राम्रो स्ट्याट्सको ब्याकग्राउन्ड हुनुपर्छ वा म्याथमेटिसियन हुनुपर्छ भन्छ नि, is it true? What if it's not? What if some हुन्छ नि students don't have a very good or strong foundation of that particular subject?
Yes, there is an old saying in English or in epidemiology. There are three kinds of epidemiology. One who can count and one who cannot count. So I think epidemiologists should be able to count. That means you should have good background knowledge in like statistic or quantitative skills. Yeah, on the start, they might not have any good background knowledge in statistics. For example, I got a lot of knowledge or good base only after I went to US. I have taken a lot of courses in statistics. My statistics professor was a biologist, but he taught the statistics in such a way that is relatable to everyday life, and that makes it very interesting, and I'm able to make through the statistics. So statistics is required, and it is our quantitative skill is required for epidemiologists. But statistics can be interesting if you try to choose the right method of learning.
So, well, we do need to have a good background of stats. That means that we can conclude. But if still we don't have, we can always pursue something and maybe follow the dream by being more hardworking. So, sir, तपाईले पनि एउटा One Health को एकदमै passionate हुनुहुन्छ from your post or from the kind of background that you are, and I also share a similar background. I am very curious to know, तपाईले say, when was the first time that you were introduced to the One Health concept? Or let's say, if you remember the first time you heard about One Health?
Yeah, very, very interesting question. I think I heard One Health, never in college. I bet never in college. But when I joined the department around 2010, it was like almost there was One Health was there. And nowadays, One Health being a cliche word, everybody is using it. And it was also at that time One Health was there, but not much information on that. But it has already gone a lot of progress. So One Health is popular nowadays. So I think it's 10 years back. I remember.
So it was 10 years back, and looking back from the 10 years, I know an oily scenario, I say, what do you think is the condition or scenario of One Health, specifically in terms of Nepal?
Oh, in terms of Nepal, there is a much progress on it. In 2010, around, I don't think we have as much communication with the people of public health, or for example, public health labs or environment. But now we are every day, like we are having trainings, or we are always having together with the public health people, or even with the doctors and others, like environmentalists nowadays, because of the one word, that is One Health. Among the One Health, one of the token is AMR, antimicrobial resistance. That is what I'm working on. So because of the antimicrobial resistance, we are connected. All the three domains of One Health, animal, human, environment connected. I have nowadays such a daily activities with communicating people around. So there has been a much progress on it and still much to go.
Yeah, indeed. And antimicrobial resistance is itself also known as the silent pandemic. I know अहिले त्यही कति इम्पोर्टेन्सहरू पनि दिइरहेको छ यो केसमा, and it's very good to know from you that actually people are working from public health pani and medical department pani, and everyone is working together. So it's a very good news for all of us, and I hope पछि future ma pani it would be much better in terms of the One Health. So for now, what do you think we can do or everyone can do to strengthen the message of One Health?
Yes, there are so many things, but what I think is that One Health should be included in the curriculum of university. I don't think there is any courses right now in most of the university in Nepal, but I found One Health courses in most of the undergrad study in the US also. I took One Health courses in masters also. There has been training in masters now, even One Health PhD also are available. So we should prepare a good academias or academic researcher in One Health. And second, that we should be able to communicate with the people, like policy people, so that they can implement One Health in the policy as well. So if we can have good advocacy every time, or we can start our advocacy from where we are, then One Health will be promoted and everything will be addressed through One Health approach.
Wow, I think that is very important topic to address. Right? तपाईले भन्नुभएको जस्तै academic case मा पनि it's very important. I never while studying the undergraduate pani, I did not see anywhere where the One Health was mentioned. You know, that's very not good at all. And in the like terms the about policy ma pani ekdamai focus हुनु पर्यो हैन. That way many people don't know about this approach, and that way we can again have strengthen the global movement of One Health. So we are almost at the end of the program, sir. Is there any piece of advice that you would like to give to the young One Health advocates or veterinary students who are aspiring to become epidemiologists, or in general to our audience?
Yes, I want to say that you have a lot of time and you are already reached where you can explore so many things. So you can choose the career, especially the young veterans. You might be thinking where to go and something like that. I think this is one of the career where you can grow and where you can a good researcher or a good scientist like that. So I would recommend, or I would just suggest you can choose this path. And yeah, it may not happen straight away, but you can wait for a while, or you can prepare for that. If you prepare best, and you can come into this career. And for that, I would encourage all the young aspiring veterinarians and others to learn, to prepare, and to work hard to achieve your dream.
Wow, thank you for that, Dr. Gompo, and thank you for this time. I really appreciate it, and it was an absolute pleasure to hear you and know a lot about the veterinary epidemiology and a career in veterinary epidemiology. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bima, for this opportunity. Actually, you are doing a great job, and you are leading this One Health from the young veterinarians side. So keep on, and thank you. All the best.
Yes, thank you, sir.